Often you can't put measures side by side on the same chart because they're different orders of magnitude. For example, here we have COVID cases and COVID deaths on the same chart, and that just doesn't happen because the vast majority of people who catch COVID don't die. So what we want to do is we want to be able to overlay them together. And the best way to do that is to take the highest ever number and divide every day as a percentage of what that highest was. And then we can overlay deaths and cases like this. So we can see for different countries, for example, what it was and how it changed. And it is a very, very useful feature. So this goes out to David Johnston, who helped me write this measure when I was working with the Cambodian government on COVID data tracking, because this was super, super important to see in different countries around the world. My name is David, and I have tons of videos on Power BI, Google Sheets, Excel, Zoom, Teams. If you're using tech of the workplace, I'm covering on my channel. I love talking about the new features and the rarely used stuff. So let's get started. So here I am in a new worksheet, and we're going to do this function, this formula essentially, where we have different components. So the first component we're going to do is the max of the given metric. The reason why we're doing that is because we want to work out this number here, which is the highest it's ever been. And that is super important because we need that as a denominator when we eventually divide the day-by-day value by it, and that'll give us the value of 100. However, where we do fall short is that we need it to stay the same, and that's why we need the all function in here. So we need it to stay consistently the same because whatever day you divide it by, it needs to be kept to that one. All right, so let's get going. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to a new page and expand the fields thing, and I'm going to go to a new measure. I'm going to call this demo of deaths max equals max of the table. And now we're going to do values of dates in my dimension date table. Now you don't necessarily have to do the values function, but if you use it, then it can make you use not only dates, but by month, by quarter, etc. Then I have the expression, and the expression in this case is just going to be COVID deaths. And then I close my brackets and I get that value. And then if I go to search for that, all right, now I've brought in my slicer. And if I just put that here as a table, which is just a single value, it just shows me what the highest number of deaths was, etc., as I click through it. And my next step is going to be to take it as a max, because if I copy and paste that and put it in a line chart with dates from my dimension table, then it's just going to move across essentially exactly like the regular deaths measure. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to make it just a straight line for the highest ever. So to do that, let me take my demo measure that I've just made, and I'm just going to take this and copy it and go to a new measure. And this measure is going to be different. This is going to be non-changing. Let's call it demo again. So it's sorted equals, and then I'm going to say calculate, paste that, and then a comma. That was my expression. My filter is going to be all for the dates table. So this means that it's going to just ignore the filter for dates. So here it is. And if I go back to my visual, I'm going to add it. It's just going to be a straight line, which is what I want. As I change different countries, it's going to be doing the highest ever straight line. Perfect. So now the last part is I'm going to use that as a denominator and divide my regular COVID deaths by it. So I'm going to take this one and copy it and then go to a new measure again. I'm going to do deaths as percent, demo deaths as percent equals, and then I'm going to say divide, and I'm going to divide the COVID deaths, so it should always be the same as the one later on, and then paste my denominator in, and then I'm going to close my brackets, and then I like to do times 100, so I don't have to change the number formatting just for this cell, because even though it's a percentage, it still kind of works. So great, so that's this one now, and if I add that to this visual, we're going to see something nonsensical. Well, it's just going to go through 100, but in other places, it's going to be much, much slower. So it doesn't work because this is only a maximum of 100, but you can do that to absolutely any measure, And then here I have that one. So I'm going to take over the misspelled one, and I'm going to add this one. And there you go. It's 0 to 100. So I like doing times 100, but you could also do 0 to 1 and format it as a percentage. It gets you to the same output. But you can do the same as well with any other kind of dimension. So here I have it for country. So everything is as a percent of the highest country ever, from 0 to 100%. And it is therefore dependent on other filters. Here it's dates. So if I choose this one, for example, USA had the highest number of deaths and of cases, and each one is showing you as a percent of that, which is kind of interesting. So you could do it with pretty much any dimension. I usually do it with dates, and I find it invaluable. So I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is David and I have tons of videos on Excel, Power BI, Zoom, Teams, Google Sheets. If you're using Tech of the Workplace, I'm covering on my channel. So this gives this video a like if this is something you enjoyed learning. Thanks for watching.